Never had the best setup when it comes to making videos. Okay, so it's Saturday when I'm recording this. I'll probably be uploading it the same day. It's about 6:20 PM. This is going to be an important video. I feel I need to address some things like collateral damage. I've been thinking quite a bit today. My brother was just here helping my parents with like the radiators and things. So yeah. I've been talking to my friend Theo. You know who Theo is. This is going to act as like, there's a lot I want to say in this video basically. It's probably going to be a really long video. Hopefully I don't get interrupted. And if you can hear sound outside, I think someone's mowing the lawn. It's going to be a very long video. I've been talking to my friend Theo. If you know who Theo is. He's basically a friend in the UK. Comes to visit sometimes. Who also has, Asperger's and mental health issues just like me. And I've been talking to him, and basically it's no secret to anyone that I delete a lot of my videos. I upload videos and then I deleted them. This all started basically with the channel. I'm not going to say the channel's name. I don't think there's any point. Another YouTuber. This all started when another YouTuber thought it would be appropriate to take my content, upload it to their channel and use it as some kind of case study to observe my behaviour in the fact that I don't have a job and I'm very isolated and secluded and reclusive and I don't have a social life and I don't characteristically have a lot of the traits that someone my age has. I'm 33 years old. And I just want to try and address some of these things in the best way I can. I haven't prepared for this video again, not really. I'm kind of making it up as I go along. But yeah, ever since that kind of happened, things have gotten steadily worse. My relationships with people have broken down a lot. Ever since I found out they were just taking my content, using it as some kind of study, making it out like it was a game really, and using a lot of big words to try and make them sound better or something. Try and make me sound unintelligent. And I've got into a very bad habit of where I'm constantly putting myself down, I'm constantly deleting videos, I'm constantly deleting tweets and social media and Instagram posts, and I'm just constantly questioning myself and I'm constantly depressed. The last 2 or 3 weeks I've been putting out a lot of streams and I've been getting very emotional, crying a lot. I've put a few older videos maybe a year or so ago when I was crying a lot. I mean, and I still tell myself a lot of the videos that I put out were not very good. I'd be holding I don't have the camera with me now. I'll probably show it in a future stream or something. The camera I use is not Bond. But I basically I'd record a lot outside and I'd forget to wipe the lens and the quality looked so bad that I watch it back later and thinking, why is anyone going to sit there for 5-10 minutes and watch this? Basically, it looks like someone just scrubbed dust all over the lens. It looked awful. So, while I don't miss those videos at the same time, I am sort of regretful of certain videos that I've taken down. I made one talking about Black Lives Matter recently. I kept that up because I thought that was a decent video and there's probably a bunch more. Fortunately, I did save a lot of videos. I did delete a lot, but I did save a lot. And there's about something like 150 to 200 saved on this PC I'm recording from now. And I'm in the midst of uploading again. It probably just feels like a constant cycle to anyone watching. Just upload and delete, upload and delete. I don't expect anyone to care basically at this point. I think I'm just making life difficult for other people and I'm making life difficult for myself, especially. Face bleeding. My face is bleeding now. Ugh. Started with me to go on. I'm going to start over. So yeah, a lot of people are obviously worried about my mental health and my well-being because I'm getting very emotional and I'm saying really dark, horrible things like I want to kill myself, I want to die, life isn't worth living, my life is over, things of that nature. And unless you suffer with those feelings yourself, you can't quite understand. I know in this day and age matters to deal with mental health become more prevalent now than ever before. And a part of me thinks some people need to be a bit more patient and understanding with me, and then with other people that I'm friends with or have been friends with, I can understand them. This whole video is going to be wiping my chin now. I can understand other people losing patience with me, like, oh, I can't be bothered with him anymore. He's constantly like up and down. And I probably need to get a grip on my life, basically. Or otherwise this pattern is going to keep continuing incessantly. Because I know a lot of people out there are going to be looking at my content, looking at my channel. I'm still in this room, 3.5 years later since I first started making videos. I still have my original video up, so that's something. People are probably thinking, what's really changed? There have been steps recently in the last 6 months, few months. I have been talking more with my parents. It's just me being honest right now. I've been talking with them a lot more, spending a little bit more time with them, talking openly about things. My father was actually looking at jobs this morning. And my father's not tech savvy, he actually just made an email account for the first time. He was looking at jobs online. I mean, I'm sceptical because my father hasn't had a job for a long time. And I've never had a job. And I don't know who I am. I don't really know what it is I want to do with my life. I'm still struggling with my mental health. It's very hard to try and find people to speak to about mental health in the city because of lockdown restrictions are happening. I live in the northwest in Liverpool, and a lot of restrictions are coming into place in 2 or 3 days' time. Just makes things that much harder. I don't like using the virus as an excuse, and I'm never to blame other people. It's always my fault. I don't want to say it's my fault, but you know what I mean. The issue lies with me, basically. I'm not one to like deflect blame onto other people. Can't even look at the camera. This feels like I'm back making the very first video again. This feels like a flashback, like a time warp. I just thought it was necessary to make this because it's like, I don't know what's wrong with me, basically. I pulled up this thing that my friend Theo sent me. Friend Theo said, you'd be good, you should think about getting antidepressants, not you're good about getting antidepressants. I'm able to bounce back quite well, I think. I'll be really emotional and hating on myself in like a stream or a video, and then give it a week and I'll be smiling and happy again. I'm probably bipolar. If I'm diagnosed, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Add that to the long list of problems. But yeah, cognitive bias. He said, my friend Theo, who's a very intellectual kind of person, said you possess some of the qualities of cognitive bias. I was reading this a little bit before the recording of the video. I'm just going to read a little bit of it out right now. A cognitive bias is a systematic error in thinking that occurs when people are processing and interpreting information in the world around them and affects the decisions and judgments that they make. The human brain is powerful but subject to limitations. There's quite a bit of text, I'm maybe not going to read all of it. It's called Very Well Mind, so you can maybe look it up. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. Reflections. Just look up cognitive bias. verywellmind.com or something. verywellmind.com, cognitive bias. You can look it up yourself. The human brain is powerful but subject to limitations. Cognitive bias is often a result of your brain's attempt to simplify information processing. Biases often work as rules of thumb that help you make sense of the world and reach decisions with relative speed. Some of these biases, I don't know how to pronounce it, biases, are related to memory. The way you remember an event may be biased for a number of reasons, and that in turn can lead to biased thinking and decision making. You can sort of take this in yourself and think to yourself if any of this applies to me. And there's quite a bit of text. I can't really show you on screen because of the reflection, but I'm trying to signs. Everyone exhibits cognitive bias. It might be easy to spot in others, but it is important to know that it is something that also affects your thinking. Some signs that you might be influenced by some type of cognitive bias include only paying attention to news stories that confirm your opinions, blaming outside factors when things don't go your way, attributing other people's success to luck but taking personal credit for your own accomplishments, assuming that everyone else shares your opinions or beliefs, learning a little about a topic and then assuming you know all there is to know about it. Okay, so learning a little bit about the topic, assuming you know all there is to know about. Types: actor, observer bias. This is the tendency to attribute your own actions to external causes, while attributing other people's behaviours to internal causes. Anchoring bias. This is the tendency to rely too heavily on the very first piece of information you learn. Attentional bias. This is the tendency to pay attention to some things, while simultaneously ignoring others. Availability heuristic. This is placing greater value on information that comes to your mind quickly. This is a lot of information. This may even warrant its own video, basically. Maybe I'll make a separate video about this. But yeah, you can look it up yourself, as apparently a lot of that information applies to me. It's quite extensive. Causes. If you had to think about every possible option when making a decision, it would take a lot of time to make even the simplest choice. This speaks a lot about me. Because of the sheer complexity of the world around you and the amount of information in the environment, it is necessary sometimes to rely on some mental shortcuts that allow you to act quickly. Cognitive bias can be caused by a number of different things, but it is these mental shortcuts that often play a major contributing role. I'm just skimming through it now because there is quite a lot. Other factors that can also contribute to these biases: emotions, individual motivations, social pressures, limits on the mind's ability to process information. Tips for overcoming cognitive bias: being aware of bias while I'm making this video, challenging your bias. Yeah. If I read all the text, this would be like a 2-hour video, so I just wanted to come in here with like a little bit of information so I wasn't just blabbing the whole time. But how long are we in? 12 minutes in. It's my face covered in blood. Who cares? I've made worse content than this. So yeah. I'm just very hating on myself. I'm hard on myself to the point of nausea. I feel like there's some people that have lost my patience with me. Chris is a big one. I know he's got a lot going on in his own life and like can't spend focus all your mental energy on me or all your attention on me. He's got his own life to live. Same with like other people. Jacobson, Connor, Theo, just loads of people. Sajal, I don't know. Loads of people. Thomas Mendenhall, all these people that have watched my videos down the years. I think about Chris a lot. I want to talk a bit about Chris now, because I mention him a lot. Even Theo says, you talk about Chris too much. He's like what started my whole YouTube career. Because prior to YouTube, I started YouTube like 2017, January, February 2017. Prior to that, I had never been on any kind of social media. I don't think I'd ever even joined like chat rooms or anything like that. I was very hermetic, very recluse. And sort of, it all comes back to him. Because I remember dropping into one of his streams, I can't remember what the game was. And he was like really miserable and low. And it was something about people not supporting the little guy. That's what always sticks out. And I just thought, I feel bad for this guy, I want to help. So I think I like donated him some money. Or I threw a bit of support his way. And then after a few months, we started becoming friends, talking, making videos, we know what I mean. I eventually like made an Instagram, and he said I had to make DeviantArt, and then I made a Twitter, started making more and more videos. I think after like 2 months of knowing each other, I said, right, I'm going to sit down and make a video, and obviously you can see that first video on this channel. And then subsequently I started making lots of other videos, and then up until, I don't know when it was, some point this year, I had over 1,000 videos. I think it was probably in like May or something. Fairly early this year, I had like over 1,000 videos. And then the thing with the person taking my videos and using me as like kind of a study happened. And that made me really sort of look into myself, really question my abilities. made me feel kind of unimportant, made me feel like I don't matter. And it just made me question myself a lot. Who wants to watch my content? It made me feel a bit worthless. You shouldn't care what other people think. People say this all the time. And it's one thing to hear it, but it's another thing to really think it and embrace it. And it's something I struggle with a lot and probably will continue to struggle with. And even now when I'm making this video, I think to myself, is there going to come a point in a month or a couple of months that I'm just going to delete everything again and cry on stream? And it's really not a healthy way to live. It's not a healthy way to live that I'm still living in this house. Since I started making YouTube, I have been making progress. If you think back to the first video I made to now, I've made a lot of progress. I was going to mental health meetings, which I've talked about on my streams. I used to go to those at the end of every month. I've been to about 6 or 8 mental health meetings. Sort of made a few friends there. And I was going to ask about jobs at these mental health meetings that I attended. Then you couldn't. The virus happened, and then you couldn't go to those meetings anymore. I guess I don't want people to lose hope with me. I guess I want people to try and be a bit more patient and understanding with me. I don't want to say I'm begging for forgiveness. It feels like I am. I just don't really know what to do a lot of the time. Chris is the opposite of me, and that's why I like him so much, and that's why I continue to want to be friends with him, want to associate with him, although I don't think he wants to associate with me. I think he's probably just like fed up with me. Well, I shouldn't maybe think too much about what he thinks. I really shouldn't. I shouldn't care what other people think. Anyone watching this video, whatever kind of mental illness you might have or you might not have, mental illness, you might just have insecurity. As long as you're not hurting anyone, do whatever you want. We all have to eat, sleep and breathe. Everything else is optional. Whether you want to just sit at home all day and watch TV, or whether you want to be world's strongest man, just do it, basically. And don't give a damn what anyone else thinks. And I want to try and, like, I say that as I'm tapping my fingers on the table, I want to try and embrace that a little bit more. I'm going on holiday with my parents in November, that's a plan, which I haven't been on holiday. I don't really go on a holiday anymore. Like I say, I went on holiday with my father in September last year to Spain, and that was a bit of a mess, but I did do it. I've had to overcome so many mental hurdles over the last few months, and I still have many more to overcome. I have overcome a lot, but I still have a long way to go. Because obviously getting a job, having a social life. Now moving house is a really big one for me. I'm just going to be honest, I don't really want to move out of this house. Which you're going to hate me for. If you look at it from my point of view, yes, you'll have your independence, some people may say. But going from this big, pretty house to what is essentially a little box, flat apartment, is not my idea of heaven, basically. My goal right now is to find some kind of purpose in life, to find a job, and to make friends. Real life friends, not just friends I have over the internet, because a lot of the friends I have over the internet, they're all fairly younger than me. I maybe only have 2 friends that are like my age. I'm trying to gather all my thoughts, thinking what to say next. I did used to think for a time that I was destined for better than the way my life is right now. It just requires so much sacrifice. I'm not sure if I want to give over all that sacrifice. But I used to think and daydream, like, I think I could be like an actor. Maybe not an A-list actor, but a decent actor. I used to really enjoy acting. And I would like to get into that. like be I don't know, like a trained actor. But I feel very insecure and I feel very anxious, and a lot of the times I need like my parents to physically or figuratively hold my hand to sort of do certain things. Like just recently I had problems with my bank, and my mother had to help me a lot with that, like trying to like reaccess my bank account because I had issues with my bank, and just a lot of things. Driving is something that I don't do. My friend Theo keeps saying you should take driving lessons, and I do think there's a lot of cars on the road and I know it would benefit me. And there's just so many things as well, like phones. I never use a phone, and some people are thinking I should get a phone, but then I also think, what would I use a phone for? The purpose of a phone is to make phone calls, and I don't have anyone to call. I've never been in a situation where I thought to myself, oh, I need a phone when I was younger. There's just so many things I've got to face. Like a lot of people my age now. The sort of things that I feel I need to do. For a lot of people my age and that I used to go to school with, it's not on their mind anymore because they've done that. They've got a job, they've got a partner, they've got their own place, they can drive. They've got phones and all this sort of thing. Yeah. It's basically like a mountain for me to climb. But I have made decent progress since I first started making YouTube videos. I also want this to be like an introduction, because when I really started taking videos seriously, I think it was like in May or something, May 2017, I started pumping them out more regularly. I never made an introduction video. I'm going to start with that right now, in the middle of this video. Hello, my name's Alan. Picture quality is probably very bad. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And I've always thought, should I make another YouTube channel and just start afresh? I've been thinking about that a lot, and I thought to myself, I'd lose all my comments and like my saved videos and my playlists, and that just feels like a lot of work. Same thing with like Instagram and Twitter. Do I make a new one? I don't really want to do that. I've had them for a while. Basically just want to have to rebuild from the ground up. I have to do this every time now. I feel like this is becoming a regular thing. Every 3 months, delete everything, have to start all over again, like reinvent myself constantly. It's very taxing. And again, I just do it because I really, 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 really hate myself. Really question my own abilities. But yeah, my name's Alan. I'm 33 years old. Birthday is April 3rd. From Liverpool. Where I'm living right now is where I've lived since I was 2 years old. What else can I say for an introduction video? What do I hope to do with this channel? For the time being, probably for the rest of the year now, I'm going to be uploading the content I have saved on this PC. Like I say, there's about another 150 videos, so I'm just going to be pumping out loads of old videos, interspersed with maybe some newer content. Like I might re-record some stuff, like we're talking about Black Lives Matter, talking about my sexuality, talking about hygiene, all that stuff. I'm maybe going to re-record and start again. I was asking my friend Theo before, do you think it's a good idea to what did I say before? It was something like, do you think it's a good idea to stick with YouTube, or should I make it a side project? And I can't remember quite what he said, what his answer was. But yeah, really it should be like my side project, shouldn't it? I think we all need to try and strive to do better and be kind. And I know that this year's been hard on a lot of people for a myriad of reasons, and I'm no different. And you watching this video, you're probably not all that different. You've probably overcome a lot of struggles too. My struggles have been going on way before starting YouTube, way before the virus. I basically became a recluse since 2007? 2006 I finished community college. In 2000, I finished college, secondary school in 2004. Then for 2 years, 2005, 2006, I went to a community college. Then 2007, I took an IT course for 6 months. And then after that, I just shut myself away from the world. I didn't really do much of anything. It's very dark in here now. open the shutters, you'll probably get blinded by light then. So yeah, for like 13 years now, which is a very long time, since we're 20, I just basically shut myself away from the world, don't mingle with my family, don't speak to much of anyone, barely leave the house most days, and especially now with the virus, more of a reason not to leave the house. You're like told not to leave the house, it's very bad. Yeah, so I'm going to be retelling a lot of old stories. I'm going to be reminding you all about me, trying to keep an open dialogue. I want your guys' advice. If you want to say horrible things about me, go right ahead. If you want to say constructive things, go right ahead. You know, whatever you want to say, go ahead and say it. I want long paragraphs. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but in like a week or so. I always tell myself, I just don't want you to hate me. And I know people don't hate me. I don't think anyone hates me. I think people are just a bit frustrated with me and they want the best for me. But I get into this mindset where it's like, you're telling me you don't hate me, but I really think you do. That's just my way of thinking. When you have depression, I said this on my streams, you think the world becomes smaller around you, your view shrinks, and you think your depression is the most important depression there is. No one else's matters. You want people to share in your pain and your grief and try and be understanding. Just hope that they say the right things that will stick with you and they'll stand by you through all the hard times and they'll still be there with you in the future. That's what I hope anyway. I'm hoping that you guys don't hate me. I know you don't. I'm hoping I can try and win people back. Because I've had YouTube for like 3 years and I've been languishing at like 150 views. Even when I had 1,000 videos, 1,000 plus videos, I still think I only had about 200 subscribers. At my most, I had 200 subscribers. Now I'm about the 155 mark. I like to think that I'm not expecting like 10,000, 50,000. I like to think I can get 1,000 people, 1,000 subscribers. I don't really care about subscriptions and views and likes and all that sort of thing. But I like to think I'm uploading consistently and being very concise in the way I speak and the way I see the world. And I like to think I'm somewhat intelligent and articulate and I have something to offer. I could garner at least another 800 or so subscribers. So yeah, this video's been going for nearly half an hour, so I'm going to try and wrap it up a bit now. I'm going to continue to try and just spend more time with my family. We're looking at a dog still, or a cat, maybe even a rabbit, I don't know. That's very hard to do because you have to plan appointments to basically see about getting a pet. There's just a lot of hurdles to overcome, there's a lot of things to accomplish, there's a lot of growing up to do, a lot of hard choices ahead. And I'm hoping you guys all stand by me and just try and support me as best you can. Chris, I want us to have a better relationship. Like, even for the longest time, we never really spoke. I think I offered to video chat with him once. We've never even video chatted, which is silly to think. We never even video chatted, but like, he's anxious and I'm anxious and we're both loners. But I would like us to, I don't know, I would like us to have a better relationship, a more healthy relationship. I just want us to talk more. I want to talk to all of you. I'm always posting on social media. Like, you guys can talk to me at any time. Like, my Instagram should be linked on my Twitter. You guys follow me and talk to me on there. Ask me anything. Let's become friends. Let's talk. Let's support each other. Let's help each other out. Let's try and move forward. Let's see if the virus is going to make things difficult. But let's see if, like, in a year from now, by this time next year or by the end of next year, I'll maybe have a job and I'll have a pet and I'll maybe have a life, more of a life. So yeah, just be patient with me and try and be understanding. Thank you.